Hey friends, Pastor Chuck here. Came across this great verse in my Bible reading this morning. Thought I'd share it with you. It's a verse on repentance. It's a popular one, and it's one that I thought over the next couple of weeks we'd kind of think about. Paul writes, "For they themselves report concerning us the kind of reception we had among you, and how you turned to God from idols to serve the living and true God, and wait for his Son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, Jesus, who delivers us from the wrath to come." Now, this is a great verse on repentance for a number of reasons. Notice, first of all, that repentance, and this is what I like about this verse, repentance at its heart is actually a change of loyalty. It's a change of loyalty from self, from serving our own interest, to serving the interest of God. And of course, we were created to serve the interest of God. So it's in our best interest to make that turn and that change towards the Lord. One thing we find in this passage is repentance is more than just feeling sorry. Repentance brings about a change in our attitude as well as a change in our actions. So sometimes we think just feeling bad about something or even confessing something is the same thing as repentance. We know that Judas, for example, it says that he changed his mind and he was moved with these tears and even to the point of despair. But we know Judas, of course, lacked genuine repentance. There's a passage in Second Corinthians where Paul talks about godly sorrow leads to salvation, but there's a worldly kind of sorrow that does not that leads to death. So there's a kind of sorrow and sadness that does not lead to repentance, but instead leads to despair. And so repentance here is fundamentally a change of loyalty. C.S. Lewis has this little quote where he says, "Fallen man is not simply an imperfect creature who needs improvement. He is a rebel who must lay down his arms." That's the idea of repentance. Changing our loyalty from, oh, I'm going to serve my own interest and be out for me, to I'm going to glorify God in my life. They turn away from the idols, that is self, and they turn to God, not just feeling sorry for things we've done, but changing our loyalty from what we love and what we value most. That's at the heart of repentance. We'll talk a little bit more about repentance here in the weeks to come. My prayer for you today is God would give us that heart of repentance. The reformer Martin Luther wrote in the 95 Thesis, all of life is repentance. So we are constantly making that fundamental change of allegiance or loyalty from serving our own interest to God. And my prayer for you and for my own heart today is that all of life would be repentance for us as God's people. God's blessing, church.